大家好，我是 Martin, and this is Short Stories, brought to you by the Taichung Keda Language Center. Today's short story is called A Little Princess, written by Frances Hodgson Burnett in 1905. Frances Hodgson Burnett. That name is very familiar. Oh, I remember. We read one of her stories in our lessons already. Remember last semester? We read The Secret Garden. That was also a Frances Hodgson Burnett story. Well, today we're going to read another one of her famous stories, A Little Princess, which is a story about a little orphan girl who endures hardship and never loses hope. A good lesson for all of us. Okay, before I begin though, I'm going to read the vocabulary and vocabulary example sentences. And then after we're done with the story, I will read some reading comprehension questions. Are you ready? Good. Let's begin. Vocabulary. Give birth. Give birth. My wife has just given birth to twins. I wonder who the father is. Tend to. Tend to. Nurse Mary will tend to the wounded soldiers. Luxurious. Luxurious. This five-star hotel, located in New York, is very luxurious. Kind-hearted. Kind-hearted. The kind-hearted woman baked cookies for us every weekend. Popularity. Popularity. The president's popularity rose immediately after he lowered taxes. Privately. Privately. Peter privately loved Anna, but in public he often acted like he didn't. Fateful. Fateful. This fateful decision changed her life forever. Rumor. Rumor. It's rumored that Rick is about to be fired. Sorry, Rick. I guess you weren't a very good worker. Status. Status. Sandra enjoyed her status as the most popular student at school. Overnight. Overnight. It seems like our puppy turned into a full-grown dog overnight. Chore. Chore. My chores include washing the dishes and taking out the trash. Tease. Tease. The students teased Claire because she looked different from everybody else. Lovely. Lovely. It was a lovely day, so we went for a walk in the park. Abundant. Abundant. Trees are abundant here because there are so many forests. Clue. Clue. The policeman searched for clues around the crime scene. Somehow. Somehow. Even though I didn't study, I somehow got a good grade on the test. Realize. Realize. We just realized Taiwan is about the same size as Switzerland. Pass away. Pass away. Our cat lived with us for 10 years before he passed away. Okay, that's it for vocabulary. Next, we will do the story. A Little Princess. The young girls at one of England's boarding schools had never met a student quite like Sarah Crewe. Just 7 years old, she was already more like a grown-up than a child. Born in India, Sarah was the daughter of a wealthy businessman. Her mother had died while giving birth, and her father was away tending to his business. As soon as Sarah arrived at her new school, she immediately became the center of attention. Sarah was soon known to the other students and even to the teachers as Princess Sarah. Because of her father's wealth, she had her own maid, carriage, and luxurious room. Still, she was very generous and kind-hearted. She not only shared her desserts with friends, but also looked after the younger students as though she were their own mother. Sarah was beloved by many at school. However, her popularity made Lavinia, who was used to be the leader of all the girls there, extremely jealous. The principal of the school, Miss Minchin, also privately hated the way Sarah seemed to be admired for every little thing. Then came a day when everything changed for Sarah, her birthday. It was on this fateful day that she received some shocking news. Her father had died after falling ill with a fever. It was rumored that he had died penniless, leaving Sarah with nothing. So her status at the school changed overnight. She moved from her fancy private room into a shabby attic, and instead of having servants to do her bidding, she was now forced to do every chore the servants asked her to do. Lavinia and Miss Minchin also started to make fun of her publicly. But no matter how they teased her, Sarah's loving heart would not be changed. Deep in sorrow over her father's death, and struggling with the changes in her life, Sarah took comfort in her friendship with her new neighbors. They were an Indian gentleman named Ram Das and a mischievous pet monkey he kept. They just moved here with their master, Thomas Carrisford, an English businessman. One night, while shivering in the attic, Sarah dreamed she was covered in thick, warm blankets. When she awoke, she found that her dream had come true. She had not only lovely blankets, but an abundant breakfast. The only clue as to how this might have happened was that Ram Dass's monkey had somehow slipped into her room. Sarah took the monkey back to Ram Dass's room and realized it was her new neighbors who had brought her these mysterious gifts. As they spoke, she revealed to him that she had also lived in India before. Excited, Ram went to get Thomas Carrisford, and when Sarah told them her childhood story, Thomas had a surprise of his own. It turned out that Thomas had been good friends with Sarah's father, Captain Crewe. They had started a diamond mining business together in India. Before Crewe passed away, he had entrusted his daughter and fortune to his friend. When he found Sarah, Thomas cried tears of joy, and Princess Sarah, with great wealth inherited from her father, continued to take care of those in need. Okay, beautiful and touching story. Now we will do the listening comprehension questions. I will ask 4 questions. You do your best to answer them. Let's begin. Question 1. Why did the other students and teachers call Sarah Princess Sarah? A. She was generous and kind. B. Her father was very wealthy. C. She was cruel. D. Her father was the king. Well, she was generous and kind, but that's not why they called her Princess Sarah. They called her Princess Sarah because of B. Her father was very wealthy. Question 2. Why was Lavinia jealous? A. Because Sarah was so popular. B. Because Sarah was so rich. C. Because Sarah was so beautiful. D. Because Miss Minchin liked Sarah more than Lavinia. The answer is A. Because Sarah was so popular. Remember, Lavinia used to be the most popular girl at school, and then Sarah shows up, and everyone's interested in her. Yeah, so that's why she's jealous. Question 3. Why does Sarah's status at the school change overnight? A. Her father bought the school. B. Miss Minchin adopted her. C. Sarah got a new pet monkey. D. Her father died penniless. The answer is D. Her father died penniless, or so they thought anyway. Question 4. Who adopted Sarah? A. Captain Crewe. B. Miss Minchin. C. Thomas Carrisford. Or D. Ram Dass. It can't be A because Captain Crewe is her own father. It can't be B because Miss Minchin does not like Sarah at all. So it must be C. Thomas Carrisford. Okay, well, that's all the questions. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.